Alright. We had a bit of a goofy pre-tape, so I'm going to try to be serious on this as possible, because this is about a fallen wrestler at the end of the day, but welcome to the Jeff Meacham channel's official tribute show to the one and only Ultimate Warrior. I am joined by an esteemed panel of colleagues from the Constantine Studios. To my immediate left, the Renegade of Wrestling JJ Williams. To my immediate right, Stat Boy Mike Caldwell. And joining us momentarily once Mikey's had his turn, will be Pinky Elizabeth Legan. There we go.
Thank you.
I got it. Woo!
You
Yes!
got my name right. You
Yes!
said it right.
Yes!
Just kill that name.
And while
Why are we
we
throwing
are,
lead? Why are we throwing lead?
Yeah. Now
while we
what the fuck?
are here to be serious and remember the life and times of Jim Hellwig and pay our tributes, we need to try to remember that we are celebrating a life, not necessarily mourning a death.
Exactly.
So it's okay to have a little bit of fun here, because to say that Ultimate Warrior was not a fun gimmick would be a gross misjustice.
And you know what? Nobody held on to the Warrior hate more than me.
And why is that?
Because I'm a Hulkamaniac through and through, and he turned on Hogan and was very vocal against Hogan and everything like that. But I'll get to my stuff. Since it's my channel, I'm going last. You have what you have put together is an amazing amount of stats, it looks like here, Stat
That's
Boy.
what I do.
And that's what Mikey
I do.
does. So I'm going to let Mikey take the reins and give us the official breakdown of the Ultimate Warrior's time in the business.
Alright. Ultimate Warrior was born June 16th, 1959 as James Bryan Hellwig. He made his debut June 17th, 1987, which was his 28th birthday, as the Dingo Warrior.
And this is his WWF debut.
WWF, yes.
Right, because prior to that he was in World Class.
Yeah,
and
I didn't
he's,
want-
well, I'll totally take your job away from you just one
I know
second.
you are.
Because he started out
Blade
here
Runners.
in California, the Blade Runners, with Sting, Steve Borden, discovered by our boy Rick Bassman from UPW. God bless Rick for discovering two great talents. Originally managed by Dirty Dutch Mantel himself, Zeb Coulter. And they broke up. Sting went one way, Warrior went the other. Warrior went to World Class on the territories, and he finally ended up in the debut. There you go.
There you go. He made his television debut October 25th, 1987 against... I'm sorry, I went ahead of myself. He started a feud with Hercules, which started his first pay-per-view at WrestleMania 4, and apparently that was one of the worst WrestleMania matches in WWE history.
It really was. It was a bad match.
Yeah, when he passed away and I went to do my, as I'm going to call them, the Holy Trinity of WrestleMania matches for Warrior, you know, the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost, it was 5, 6, and 7.
Yeah, because the Rude match was good.
Yeah.
The Hogan match was the Hogan match, my God.
Yeah.
And then, I dare say Randy was better, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But
I
the
consider-
match with Hercules, oh my God.
I consider the Hogan match the Father, the Rude match the Son, and the Savage match the Holy Ghost, because if you look at that match, and me and Beth talked a little bit about this when I watched it, everybody but the referee involved in that match is now no longer with us.
Yes.
Yep.
Sherry, Savage, Liz,
Yes.
Warrior.
Yep.
Everybody's gone.
So I call that one the Holy Ghost match.
There you go. Makes sense. All right.
He got the IC title August 29th, 1988 at SummerSlam against the Honky Tonk Man
The Honky Tonky Man.
in a 27-second squash match. He basically, the highlight was, of course, running to the ring. Honky had no offense whatsoever. But
Which is kind of a shame at the end of the day, because Honky Tonk Man still is the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time, arguably the greatest, and he lost it in 20-something seconds.
Longest reigning, I will agree with. Greatest, I think, goes to perfect, but no, that's just my opinion.
that's another story.
But Warrior was a great Intercontinental champion.
Arguably.
Yeah, arguably. But Warrior was a great Intercontinental champion, no doubt about that. For as ludicrous as his matches were, he was a decent second tier under the Hulkster.
Now let me ask you this really quickly before we go too much more depth into your stats. Do you think Ultimate Warrior disgraced the Intercontinental Championship?
No.
I only ask that because the IC title is always looked at as the workhorse championship.
Right.
The guy that can go out there and sometimes close the show when your champion, like Brett and Sean talked about in Greatest Rivals, has gone back to the hotel to get their room service and everything. It's the guy that's counted on to keep the people talking. Do you think in that aspect Warrior disgraced and cheapened the title?
No
I said
more,
no.
no more than Honky did.
Okay.
Honky, Wayne Ferris was not a really good wrestler. He was a decent attraction,
Okay.
much like Warrior was, but not a terribly good technical wrestler.
Okay.
It wasn't until post-Warrior, when Rude got it, and then after Warrior won the title from Hogan, and Perfect got it, and Tornado got it, and Brett got it, and Shawn got it, that it really turned its own notch up. Yes, you had Savage and Steamboat and Santana and Morocco previously and Valentine previously, but the early 90s were the genesis of the Intercontinental Championship.
Okay.
So I don't think Warrior disgraced it. I think Warrior being the Intercontinental Champion and main eventing WrestleMania 6 title for title with Hogan elevated that title significantly.
Okay. And please don't spam me about how can I hate on the dead. It was a legitimate question. It wasn't meant to disrespect the dead in any way, shape, or form.
None whatsoever.
Try this and chill the fuck out, people. Seriously.
Exactly. Loses the belt April 2nd, 1989 at WrestleMania 5.
Thanks to Bobby the Brain.
Thanks to Bobby Heenan.
Thanks to Bobby the Brain. Yes,
Gets
sir.
the belt back August 28th at SummerSlam, and then gives up the belt after winning the title at WrestleMania 6. He held the belt until January 19th, 1991, when he lost it to Sergeant Slaughter. And then we go into WrestleMania 7, the career versus career match against Macho King, which was, I think, one of the best matches he ever had.
Agreed.
And then after that, he went into a feud with The Undertaker and Jake Roberts. This was the whole locking in the casket storyline. Jake Roberts comes along, you know, I can teach you how to beat the dead man. And at the end of the day, never trust a snake. Also, this feud never happened because his contract was coming up and there was a huge pay dispute, which ultimately led to the Warrior being suspended and or fired. He wanted a huge amount of money, and he said, I want a higher percentage from my merchandise, I want to work these days, and until I get an answer, I'm going home. And this is just before SummerSlam of 91.
And Vince wrote him a letter he handed to him when he got to the back, and at the Hall of Fame on Saturday night, Warrior pulled that letter out of his jacket and said, "Can I get rid of this now?"
You have to
Or
watch.
something like
You have
that.
to watch the DVD if you want to get all the details. But Vince actually agreed, and he paid him, and then he fired him,
Or just buy the network and watch the speech.
or just buy the network watch it, whatever.
Whatever.
He comes back at WrestleMania 8 because Hogan was on his way out. We need that big guy. We do the feud with Papa Shango where he pukes multicolors and the whole voodoo thing. Warrior had no control over this. This was all stories. You're going into this feud with Papa Shango and we're going to have you puke in the back. Great comeback there.
Thankfully, it was quick.
Yes. We go back into the vault with Savage over the title. With Flair and Perfect.
SummerSlam in Wembley. Yep.
And around that time, well, that's when the steroid trial hit and Warrior was gone.
Well, there was also once again a dispute of him being around, and there was more pay dispute there. He was let go again. He walked and he was let go again once again, and was gone for 4 years. Almost.
Came back at WrestleMania 12 against Triple H.
Which I totally schooled Michael Cole on. For the record, I got you, Cole. I got you. Because I think JBL, not Cole, JBL, said that Triple H losing to Bryan was the most humiliating WrestleMania loss. I'm like,
Not even
minute
close.
12, Ultimate Warrior.
Minute 12.
Just saying. We're honoring Warrior, but let's be real.
Yeah.
And then he comes back and then leaves again 3 months later.
Claims his dad was really sick, which was
Yeah.
bullshit,
Yeah.
because he didn't talk to his dad. But yeah.
And that was pretty much it. He was done with WWE. He did sign with WCW in 1998, but he only had 4 major matches. And then he was done November 9th, 1998. He claimed he was retired. He did the whole Warrior University thing. He retired against Orlando Jordan, and we didn't hear from him until 2 months ago when finally we get the word he's going in the Hall of Fame. April 5th, we have the induction ceremony where he gives his nice speech. April 6th, he makes the WrestleMania appearance.
Did you see the speech?
Yes,
You did see the speech.
I did.
And you called it a nice speech?
Okay, he was a little upset.
The fool was like, it sounded like he was suicidal. It was bad. My dad thought he was going to commit suicide. My dad thought it was suicide when we found out he died. It was that deep.
April 7th, of course, was much more darker and deeper because another live Mike, he flew home from Louisiana to Arizona. And then sadly, that night, April 8th, he was gone. Like I say, stories were coming up all over the internet. He was at a hotel. He was at the airport when he flew in. The fans still loved him. He was gracious and grateful and smiling. And then we get here is when he was backstage at Raw. People saw that he was in pain. It's like, well, guys, you know, get a doctor here. Check on the Warrior. And you know, sadly, he's gone. But now to make things happy again. And then I'll tell this quick story and then I'll tag out. My favorite Warrior story was one told by Bobby Heenan. This is when Warrior was working with Andre. And Andre says to Warrior, you know, give me a shoulder block. Give me your best shoulder block in the world. So Warrior, he's ready to go. He's ready to go. He's ready to go. And he goes up to Andre and he literally bounces right off of Andre. And he gets right, oh, come on, Warrior, get up, get up. Warrior gets up and goes, come on, do it again, do it again, do it again. As hard as you can. And Warrior's, he's ready to go, he's ready to go. He goes twice as hard, he almost knocks himself out. He goes, one more time, one more time. Heenan's at ringside, he's like, Andre, what are you doing? It's like, he wants to get into the business, he'll learn. He bounces off the rope, and just before he makes contact, that big old fist of Andre comes out, gets Warrior right between the eyes, and knocks that Earl Scheid paint job off of his face. And he's like, welcome to wrestling, kid. Because
If you're gonna learn, you gotta learn from Andre.
You gotta learn from Andre. That's the
right.
biggest thing, you know. So, you know, like I
Well,
said.
thank you for the memory, Mike, and thank you for the stats, because I didn't know some of that stuff. I was legit surprised by a lot of that stuff, so I appreciate that.
I do my homework.
I'm surprised that he didn't touch on any of the stuff really from WCW because,
He only had 4
correct me
matches.
if I'm wrong, historian here,
Yes.
but I seem to remember on the Heart and Soul DVD,
Okay.
Diana Hart talking about a lot of Davey Boy's back problems came from landing on the trap door from the War Games match that Warrior was supposed to come out from under the ring
It wasn't
for.
War Games, it was on a Nitro, but yeah, that's true. That's very true. He got a staph infection as well
Yeah,
for that.
definitely.
To the point where he was out wrestling for so long that by the time he came back, Vince signed him back because WCW wasn't willing to pay for the damages that their own company had inflicted. Which shows a lot about WCW now, doesn't it?
Which, you know, I mean, granted, that's not one of Warrior's high points, but it's something noteworthy during his
Right.
WCW run
Well-
to be touched on.
And then,
Well, you know.
do they have to go with the Renegade too? No, not you, of course, but I mean, the wannabe Warrior.
No,
that's-
No,
because
no.
he killed himself for real. So,
Yes, he really
yeah,
did.
Yeah, he really did. God bless Rick
Poor
Wilson.
guy.
He tried.
Yeah.
He tried.
Poor guy.
So there you go. Time for me to tag out. Where's my
All
tag?
right, we're gonna.
Where's my hot
Why
tag?
don't you give your sign out here?
Oh, let's see if I remember that one. Yeah, I think it went something like Stat Boy out.
There you go. Thank you, Stat Boy.
All right.
And my Stat Boy.
Okay, and now making her way to the ring from Chicago, Illinois.
All right, Stat Boy, take the shot. Is she in?
Oh, we're good. We're good. Go ahead.
Hi, let me just get these people in phone thing
Thank
and
you.
hello.
Okay, well, I asked for mine because I'm going to go to the Twitter while y'all
I
talk.
don't even
That's
have my
what I was
phone.
gonna
Where's
use
my
it
phone?
for,
I
too,
don't
is
even, I don't even have my
tweets you got.
phone.
Well, I
If
will-
that's what you're gonna do, then I'll
I think
just
it's
put
somewhere
my
on the
That's
couch,
right,
maybe.
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
even know where.
I'm gonna go ahead and take the stage here for a second
Okay.
because arguably, or not arguably, you two have been watching a hell of a lot longer than I have. We all know this is established fact.
Yeah, unfortunately, the year you came in was his WCW year.
Right.
It's like I never got to see any of Warrior really during his prime, only from videotapes. Not trying to be mean here, but the Warrior never did anything for me. Going back and watching the stuff coming up when I did, you gotta remember it was the middle of the Attitude Era, and here's this hokey cartoon character, and I'm just like, seriously? I'm supposed to take you serious?
Yep.
And I never did, and I do kind of regret not being able to see Warrior in his prime. Maybe I would have felt a little bit differently about the character and the gimmick and everything.
Well, yeah, remember when we all first discovered the Warrior, we were all younger. As far as
Yes.
like, you know, when Beth was watching it in her youth, and when I was watching, when I started watching, he was the champion.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to see Warrior do his thing in his prime. By the time you came around, you were seeing the tail end of his wrestling career, period. And then going back and watching it in the mindset you were in, watching Stone Cold and Rock and Triple H and, you know, Hollywood Hogan and the NWO, you're like, the fuck? Anyway.
Pretty much, you know, and then, you know, all the stuff that I would read about him on the internet and what a dick he was being to the fans. It was like, I had no reason to like the man, you know, but he was able to make peace with Vince. They brought him to pretty much spearhead the 2K14 campaign.
Yes, they did. Very much so.
Indeed.
And while I never got the chance to meet him, and I kind of regret not going to Frank
When
and
Josh
Sons
went, yep.
with Mole and with Ray.
I regret it now.
Yeah, it's like now that he's gone, you know, if he were to have done one now that he was in the Hall of Fame, I'd go.
Oh, definitely.
And it just sucks that he's not going to get that opportunity now.
Right.
Now that he's found a better place within his life and himself, and whatever changed about him to bring him to the peace of mind that he had going into this past weekend, I regret that I'll never be able to meet the man that changed.
Yeah, meet the Warrior behind Warrior. Yeah, exactly.
So,
I agree. How you doing on time there, Stat Boy? Doing all right?
You good?
All right, cool. Beth, you went on Twitter the night he passed, and I saw your tweet, and it was a tweet longer. That's how long it was. And you mentioned that before the Undertaker, you had Warrior, which says a lot considering how much you love the Undertaker. Let's keep that in
it's
mind.
like, if I may say something real quick, she was trying to go on to her radio show on Tuesday night that she does, her little fictitious wrestling show.
Right.
When she found out the news, and pretty much collapsed in the corner here in a mess. I had to hang up the phone because she was so hysterical over it.
Wow.
Hmm.
That'll be me with the Hulkster, I think. When he finally goes.
Yeah. This is Elizabeth speaking, not Pinky. A lot of you know my story. I started watching wrestling when I was 5. So we're talking 1980.
Yeah, she gave a rage. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I am not ashamed to say I'm almost 39. I turned 39 July 8th. So birthday presents, you know, Kara Costa 18 Studios channel. You know, we'll give you the address later. Look this out.
Get that Warrior mask he had on TV Monday night for you, you know.
Dude, that would just be awesome.
That's what I'm just saying.
Warrior mask, you know, can somebody give me a warrior mask in pink and white? That would be
No,
just
I found a great
awesome.
gift for you on WWE.com. We'll talk about that off
Dude,
air.
awesome,
Off air.
I got to see, this is hell for me. I got to see the Ultimate Warrior evolve. Change, grow into what he, I refuse to say was. Because in my eyes, he will never die. I fell in love with wrestling at a very young age. Thanks, Gammy, for that one. I was watching that for a year. Warrior was one of the first guys I saw. I do remember Billy Jack Haynes, Harley Race, King Harley Race, excuse me. I'm going old school with somebody. S.D. Jones, remember all them. And then there's this handsome, hallelujah, Y'all should know I love the Caucasian persuasion. Handsome Vanilla G. Lord. Tanned, blonde-haired, hazel-eyed, good God, Greek physique. Hey now. I am about maybe 8, 10 at this time, so I'm growing into liking men, not boys. Never liked boys. And I was like, ooh, I like it, I like it, I like it. And the best part of his persona for me was the face paint, the hair, the tassels, and the ring entrance. Shaking of the ropes like Batista does. I had to catch myself. I'm in my I really don't care phase today. Shaking the ropes, and not to say his matches were spectacular, because let's just be honest, most of them weren't. But that character, that lively, funky, spunky, good lord, something completely different than Hulk Hogan. No offense, Jeff, over here. I can't stand to say your prayers, eat vitamins, blah, 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 blah. Too hunky for me. I love the alternative. Always have, always will. That was Warrior for me. I remember watching one of my favorite matches, Ultimate Warrior. WrestleMania 7. Retirement match. 4 people in that match are now deceased. This versus Macho Man. You guys don't know, Google that shit. YouTube it. It was the first time I actually saw the Warrior wrestle. I mean, tell a story, put on the fucking match. Well, he had no choice. He was working with the one and only
Savage, yeah.
Macho Man fucking Randy Savage, bitch.
Macho King, bitch.
Macho King, because
right.
you don't have a choice but to work with him. And that means get your ass out there and wrestle. He did that every night. God rest your soul, though. He wrestled his ass off. Put on a fantastic match. Even to the point where he's looking like, what else do? I hit this man with everything I have in my arsenal, and he still keeps kicking out. Fuck. That's when I knew he was like, alright now, gotta do this. He wins the match. We all know what happens. Best reunion ever. And for me, Warrior just kind of disappeared after that. He was never the same. We got a Warrior at WrestleMania 8 that was not the Warrior. I'm very happy that he got to reconcile, get everything right before he left here. It was like he knew. And I'm grateful for that. I'm no longer angry that he's gone. I'm actually happy for him. Because he did what a lot of people refuse to do. Get it right, make it right, before you leave here for your eternity.
Alright, there you go.
From me to you, rest forever in peace.
Alright, there you go. Thank you, Beth, for that.
Sorry.
Before I get to my thoughts on the Warrior, because, you know, I have a few, I'm going to go to the Twitter.
Okay.
And JJ put out a Twitter. Goddamn phone. Sorry. Fucker. Do you have a Warrior memory? Tweet it to me or Jeff, and we might just talk about it on the show. R.I.P. Warrior. Now, I love you had the hashtag Warrior memory, because people actually use it. I was so tickled. At Mike
The
X...
new shenanigans.
The new shenanigans, that's right. At Mike X270, WrestleMania 6 and 7, no one, no matter their opinion of the Warrior, could deny what he did at these 2 events. Agreed, sir.
Agreed.
I'm going to throw her under the bus right now. She's going to be mad at me if she watches the show, but I got to give it to Carlin, our girl Carlin.
Uh-oh.
She didn't tweet us back directly, but she did tweet out saying that RIP Ultimate Warrior doesn't seem real. I just saw you on Raw last night. And that's just like, I sometimes forget that Carlin's a wrestling fan.
Yeah, absolutely.
I see her so rarely these days. But, you know, it was very sweet, and it made it like, wow, like even our girl Carlin is sad. It was bummer. All right. At JAE503, Jacob Beasley, when the Warrior beat Honky Tonk Man at SummerSlam '88 for the Intercontinental title. Mole tweeted you and I the video that he shot at Frankenstein. So if you go onto my Twitter and look at the ats, you can see that. I'm sure we'll let that speak for itself.
Prior to that one, I got one just directed towards me from CJ Mullins.
Okay.
Everybody CJ says the matches with Rude and Savage are always entertaining. I remember running around my house with face paint on like Warrior. Hashtag Warrior memory.
There you go. Emmanuel Dominguez, EDM at EDM702. I think it's his whole name. There might be more. I don't think there's more to his name than that. Skydome, Hogan versus Warrior. When I was 4 years old, I was close to the. Oh, it's a twit longer. I gotta read this whole thing. Sorry.
At EDM702000.
There you go.
That's a
It's
lot.
a twit longer, so I'll let Jay go ahead and find the next one while I get this one up.
Alright, I had one sent directly to me, not Jeff 2 from Warren Mapp.
Okay.
At Apocalyptic 513 says my favorite memory of Warrior is his match with Macho Man Randy Savage at WrestleMania 7. In my opinion, Warrior's greatest match. I don't think anyone will disagree with you there, Warren. We all pretty much said it on the prediction show when we talked about
The
the Hall of Fame, and
yeah.
it's been touched on a couple times here already.
Yep, that was his greatest match. All right, EDM 702000. Skydome, Hogan versus Warrior when I was 4 years old, which shows you how much younger he is than us. I was close to television with my wrestling buddies of Hogan and Warrior. Was watching the match with every move they made. Yelling to the television, kick out Hogan. At times I go kick out Warrior. Didn't want neither of them to lose that match. I will always remember why I stood by all these years with WWF, WWE. I knew after that moment, I knew there'd be more moments like that in the future, and I sure wasn't disappointed.
Nice.
There you go.
Jayhawk Kid at Ricky Lawson tweeted favorite Warrior memory is him versus Macho Man at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people agree with that one.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. You know, there's no denying the greatness of that match.
JC,
Go ahead.
JC at JC121982.
Lordy.
Feud with Taker, and that they had to drill holes in the casket, though. I was young. I was like, come on, it's ridiculous now. Hashtag Warrior memory.
That was bad.
That was horrible.
That was bad. I'll give you
really
that one, kids. That was
Indeed.
bad.
Indeed.
Lord.
It was horrible.
That's all the stuff I have from Warrior.
My phone's loading. I apologize. It's it's being retarded. My phone's not so smart sometimes.
Well, while yours is loading others, I'm going to go ahead and touch on something that I talked about you off camera, and I just need to bring the quote up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you were talking about that before we rolled.
Let me see if I can find it here. Give me 1 second, folks.
It's live TV, kids.
We're live.
Over the last few days, I've been watching some of my old WrestleManias. Not old as like, the single digits, but I just recently got in my collection WrestleMania 26 and 28. Thanks to the super sale that Walmart had to promote WrestleMania 30.
God bless Walmart.
Thank you, Walmart.
2 DVDs for $10. I got WrestleMania 26 and Over the Edge.
Whoops.
Excuse me,
Over the
limit.
See what you did there?
2010.
We always call it over.
You know what? The first freaking one had Edge on the cover. It was totally obvious it was supposed to be Over the Edge. They just couldn't say it.
Right.
Whatever. Over the Limit 2010 WrestleMania 26 2-pack, $10. The other one was WrestleMania 28 and the most recent Rock DVD, which is my second copy of that one now, $10.
Well,
I was trying to take it off your hands.
While watching the Hall of Fame ceremony for WrestleMania 28, you can beg and grovel off camera. Maybe I'll listen to you.
Okay, fair enough.
Maybe.
But while I was watching the WrestleMania 28 DVD, I watched the Hall of Fame and the induction of the Four Horsemen. And that was so familiar cramp that Triple H talked about
I got a cramp.
during Flair's
Cramp.
retirement ceremony.
Cramp.
But Tully Blanchard said something in his speech that really hit me, especially having lost Warrior this past week. And you finally saw the Hall of Fame, so you seen what he said and how he said, and you can see where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
He was talking about his father, who had passed away the Thursday a week prior to WrestleMania. They buried him the Monday leading into WrestleMania weekend. Okay. And Tully Blanchard said something to the effect, and I'm pretty sure it's not a direct quote word for word, but something to the effect of, how can you have the lowest low and the highest high in the span of 6 days is going to take me weeks to process.
Yeah. And for Tully Blanchard to be dumbfounded and speechless, that says a lot.
And I'm watching that, and it hits me. It's like Warrior goes in the Hall of Fame on Saturday. Comes out, his very own entrance at WrestleMania with Scott Hall giving the old,
the old click point there, the click point,
get your ass out here, homie. This is your moment.
That's all you.
From what is now being called the most prophetic promo in Raw history.
Ever.
Talking about the beat of your heart and the breath in your lungs
Anybody got that?
to being gone the next day.
Yeah, that's scary.
4 days. What a roller coaster ride it was, though. I mean, he definitely went out, I think we can all agree, in Warrior style.
Very much so. Alright, Lee Davies, at Davies Lee 1. My favorite Warrior moment was this weekend, seeing him back on TV and seemingly with a storied past behind him. I think that's it as far as the Warrior memories.
I had one more, if I may.
Go ahead, Mikey.
Jerry Lawler told this story. I think it was on the Self-Destruction DVD also. This was the point where apparently Warrior was wearing the muscle bodysuit.
Oh, God, yes.
Oh, god awful.
And the one thing that Jerry Lawler remembered most was that Warrior was wearing a baseball cap.
Yeah.
For the
yeah.
picture thing.
Yeah, it's like Warrior never wore a baseball cap.
Ever.
It's like you're tripping over a baseball cap there, Jerry? I mean, come on.
Now, let me also, before I start my talk about Warrior, how much time do I have, sir?
You got about 14 minutes.
Cool, I can do this quickly then. Okay. Let me say for the record, because I started my solo career doing these shows, talking about this person in the media.
Oh, Nancy Grace.
Nancy Grace!
Whoa!
Yes.
You are a
Biatch.
raging cunt, okay?
You need
Seriously.
Jesus, how?
No, you don't need Jesus. You need the devil, because he's the one who can save your ass now.
Oh, well, damn.
'Cause
Okay.
listen, let me be fucking frank, okay? Seriously.
That's your dad.
I'm being dead serious right now. Because the last time I had to talk to your ass,
No shit, bitch.
nobody listened to me.
Mm.
You are misinformed. You are ignorant. You are damn near flaming openly retarded. And if the petition is true and there is a petition to get you thrown off the air, I swear to God I'm going to sign it.
There is one.
But will it happen? Probably not.
I signed it.
If I see it again, I'll sign it. But I'll tell you right now, you don't deserve anything you get in this world except hatred and flaming comments toward you. Okay? You need to go straight to hell and stay there. Get off my goddamn TV and stop talking to my boys in the business. Leave the business alone, bitch. Okay.
What the fuck you said,
Feel
bitch?
better?
I do, actually.
Okay.
She's a raging cunt, though.
Ask Rift about talking to Nancy Grace 7 years ago after Chris Benoit did what he did.
She still ain't learned her fucking lesson.
Not pretty how off I went.
Oh, I'm sure you did. She still.
It's on WDQ.com's YouTube channel. By all means, go check it out. I'll probably put it on mine too. So by all means, go check it out.
Please do. That'd be funny as
See Raging Jeff without being drunk Raging Jeff. It's a scary situation.
Jesus Christ, sober raging Jeff. Lord.
Now, Ultimate Warrior. That's the voice of God telling me to stop talking about Nancy Grace.
Jesus like that. No, you don't.
I didn't say a word.
Hey,
Jesus don't.
I follow Jesus on Twitter. He might be coming back at me.
No, you're not. Nancy Grace.
Jesus tweeted about the Warrior. I'm just saying, that was funny.
Jesus loves the Warrior too.
That's right. Jesus loves Warrior too. All right,
Jesus
now.
loves
Okay. I have made no bones in my internet wrestling career about my dislike of the Warrior. Even as a young kid growing up, watching wrestling in the start of 1990, my first pay-per-view watching was the Survivor Series where The Undertaker debuted in 1990. So my affiliation with The Undertaker goes back almost 25 years. Okay. So there you go.
Yeah.
I just didn't get it. You had this amazing red and yellow wearing blonde bomber named Hulk Hogan who, for all intents and purposes, was the face of the company. Yet the belt was on this equally muscle-bound, painted-faced freak. Like, no, that's my guy. I want the belt on my guy. I think I was one of three people in the world that cheered when the Macho King smashed him over the head with that scepter at the Rumble.
Damn.
No problem with it, because you know what? I did not like Warrior, and as bitter critter as he got later in life, until he finally turned around in the last couple years, I felt justified in my dislike, almost outright hatred of the Warrior. I didn't wish death on him, so it's not complete hatred, but I did wish he would just stay away and stop going on the internet like fucking Damien Demento and those other guys. Just shut up. But I regret now that he turned it around, and he was at that Frankenstein that Josh went to, and I didn't go and make peace. Because I'll forever have to live with that. The fact that I held on to that when I really didn't need to. That wasn't my battle to hold on to. It was him and Hogan. It was him and Randy. It was him and whoever. It wasn't him and me. And now I can't reconcile that. And that bugs me. But I know that he deserves his spot in the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
I know that it was long overdue for all parties to just get the fuck over it.
Yeah.
Very much in the same type of situation as Brett, Vince, and Shawn.
Yes, definitely. I mean, you gotta figure, it took Brett and Vince 8 years to get over their shit. It took Brett and Shawn over 12. But that picture that still just makes me just tear up every time I see it, of Warrior and Vince, goofy smile, full-on embrace, cheek-to-cheek hug, and then that equally goofy one from at Gorilla at Raw with Warrior and Hogan and Pat Patterson, all just loving life and everything. It was just like, fuck. I'm learning very quickly through the newest special friend in my life. Don't hold on to the hatred in your life. Don't hold on to the bitterness in your soul. Superstar Billy Graham said it 10 years ago at his Hall of Fame. Anybody that lives in bitterness and disdain and hatred just will not have a fulfilled life. And it's like, you know what? Most of the shit we hang on to in this world is just not fucking worth it.
Is this the same guy that sold his ring, though, because he didn't want to be part of the Hall of Fame that Abdullah the Butcher's in?
I'm not giving the Superstar Graham full sanity credit. Let's be real.
He's just giving him a little something.
Trust me, Superstar Billy Graham is not my favorite person in the wrestling business.
We know.
But what he said at the Hall of Fame 10 years ago, it's like, he's right. If we live in bitterness and jealousy, we're not going to have a fulfilled life. And it took Warrior dying for me to get over my dislike for The Rock. I'm over it, Dwayne. I apologize.
Well, let me be the first to say, all of those out there that have been watching us for the last few years, let me welcome you back to the Legion of the Millions
And millions
of The Rock's fans.
That's right. I am officially a Dwayne The Rock Johnson fan again.
Before you read the promo that you brought up, the picture that hits me the most now is the final picture that exists of Warrior.
Yes.
I don't know if you saw that picture go around Twitter and Facebook.
God bless that.
Fan caught him in the Louisiana airport
God bless him.
and got a picture with him just before he got on that plane.
Whoa.
Stat Boy, I don't know if you can hold this up
God bless
good
it.
so that
God bless you,
everybody can see it.
God bless you, buddy.
But to the gentleman that is in that picture with the Ultimate
God bless
Warrior, you are a lucky man. And thank you for sharing
Yes.
that photo over the
Thank
internet,
you.
allowing it to go viral.
Thank you so much.
Because the smile on Warrior's face in that picture
Classic.
just tells me that he was
beautiful.
at complete peace.
Absolute peace.
Where are we at, Stat Boy? Do you have time to read this promo?
At James F. Spencer.
All right.
There we go.
All right. You got 5 minutes,
I have
Beth.
5 minutes. I will take a minute and a half.
I was going to say, don't read it Warrior style now.
I will not read Warrior style. I can't do
Hulk Hogan!
or
By the way, thank you so much for fucking posting those YouTube videos of me and Ray. I forgot about that shit. Legit forgot about that shit.
Between that and the Babyface's dads that we did, where I did my nonsensical Warrior promo about the spicy chicken sandwich not being spicy enough.
That's right.
I had to share those.
That shit was great. That was good.
They're absolutely dorks. Let me see, guys. Warrior's last promo. This is the haunting one. This has gone viral as well. Word for word, verbatim. I'm not reading word or stuff. No WWE talent becomes a legend on their own. Every man's heart one day beats its final beat. His lungs breathe a final breath. And if what that man did in his life makes the blood pulse through the body of others and makes them bleed deeper in something larger than life, then his essence, his spirit will be immortalized. By the storytellers, by the loyalty, by the memory of those who honor him. And make the running the man did live forever. You are the legend makers of the Ultimate Warrior. In the back, I see many potential legends, some of them with warrior spirits. And you will do the same for them. You will decide if they live with the passion and intensity, so much that you will tell your stories and you will make them legends as well. Ultimate. You are the Ultimate Warrior fans. And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever.
I don't know if you tweeted this, Beth, or if it was on something that you retweeted and posted or whatever, but somebody in your tweetdom said you can stop running now. And that was beautiful.
He's not running now. He's...
That's it.
What's beautiful for me is I know within myself, if nothing else, I'm a spiritual woman. I know for a fact he did what he's supposed to do, and he can go now.
Oh, he's already up there with all those.
He's up there. You know what? He's up there with Owen and Bulldog and Andre. And somebody's still Andre's towel.
The artwork that has been coming out is superb.
Gorgeous.
Wow. Much like when Randy passed a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Now let me say this as parting words, 'cause I know I have a couple minutes left. The streak ending and Warrior passing very much pushed me to my breaking point.
Yeah.
I about walked away. But I'm not going to. I enjoy doing these shows. I enjoy watching the shows. And one of our dearest friends in the business is the World Heavyweight Champion, so I can't walk away just yet. So with that, I'd like to thank the members of the Cassidy Teen Studios for joining me on my channel tonight, all three of you. And we will see you guys. Let's go with Friday with the next Dads on Wrestling. And we'll see you then.
Stat Boy, will you hold this up for our fade out?
I don't know how to fade on that thing.